I want the minister to visit all the hospitals and see the states in which the hospitals are at the moment. That's what I think that he can do.
If you give us an understanding of perhaps you've spoken to us about what needs to be urgently done, and one will imagine that a lot of people have spoken. If you go on Abuja roads, you see fantastic infrastructure work that is being done in the last 1 year or more, that Wike became the minister of the FCT. Yes. But it's sad to hear that the hospitals are in the shape that you are describing it. And which of the hospitals would you say is worse off?
Well, let me say that we thank the minister for the job he's doing in fixing the roads in FCT and getting the bridges done, making our transportation even easier from our houses to the hospitals and etc. Which of them is worse off? I will feel like I never categorize them as which one is better or worse off. But what I will say is this, that we've got hospitals where sometimes we have just one doctor working or two doctors working. We'll need doctors, nurses, pharmacists to be employed in those places so that people can have the strength and the passion to work. I feel, in my opinion, I feel that it wouldn't take so much to fix these hospitals. It wouldn't take so much to do that.
So guys, we all know that Wike is a showman. Wike is somebody who likes people to see what he's doing and commend him for his work. Like we all know that Wike has been busy, commissioning projects in Abuja, just like he did in Rivers State back then. But guess what is happening now? This doctor has come out to call out Wike that he's busy commissioning roads and bridges without paying attention to the medical facilities in Abuja, that things are very, very bad. I mean, the situation of things are not looking good in the FCT as regards to, the medical system and all that. And this was exactly what Wike did in Rivers State, where we were told that he did not pay pensioners, he did not pay workers, were not promoted, schools were in dilapidated state, so many things that has to do with giving direct value to the lives of people that Wike didn't do. And the same style he's also, implementing in Abuja. And this is all wrong. When people just want you to be seen, you just want people to see you, and maybe tomorrow they will say you are good for president. Being good for president is not just by building roads and fixing bridges without you directly impacting in the lives of people. We saw VDM last time who went to rebuild a school in Abuja. These are some of the things that the state government or the FCT leadership should focus on. I'm just going to allow you to take a look at what this doctor has got to say about Wike and all the things he's doing in Abuja, why those things are less important when you compare them to human lives. Just take a look for yourself.
So, we have some pictures of today, and we are monitoring at Channels Television what is happening in the hospital. Because we saw the minister, he began about a 7 year or so commissioning of projects, and we imagine that this is also important. This is some pictures as of this evening coming from some of these hospitals from Wuse to Asokoro that we are able to capture. And this is a situation in these hospitals. And imagine that some of these laboratories, some of these wings and departments in these hospitals are non-functional, because usually these hospitals are usually very busy, isn't it?
Extremely busy. And that is just where we have our concerns. The minister has been very busy with projects, fixing of roads and everything. And we feel he should also focus on the hospitals right now. We feel that we, at the Human Abandonment Project, no matter how many things it does by fixing of roads and bridges, the hospitals are the very first point of renovation and rehabilitation. The hospitals they are hallowed ground. You cannot neglect them.
Abuja hospitals are in bad shape. Is that what you're saying?
Abuja hospital can be better. That's what I'm saying.
You and your colleagues did not go to work today.
No, we didn't work today, but we were at the hospital.
Today, but literally as a show of your agitation that you are not happy with the treatment you are getting from government. Is that right?
Yes, chronic treatment.
How long has this gone for?
Some of the demands 4 years now, 5 years.
And this is typical to Abuja, the FCTA.
Well, these particular ones have been typical, that's correct.
So we imagine that NARD, that's the National Association of Resident Doctors, a few years ago, and some of us followed through because we do know how important the medical facilities and medical services are in the country. And hearing that the FCT, that is supposed to be a beacon of hope for medical services, education, and the rest, is having a problem. Can you give us an idea of exactly what the problems are?
Okay, so thank you so much once again. And let me put it this way, that it is embarrassing that we keep talking about the same thing over and over again. This didn't start yesterday. I mean, some of us, our demands have lingered for 4 years, 5 years, 3 years. We have some of them, for example, we've got some of the doctors that have not been paid the 6 month salaries, and they worked for it, and they are still working. We've got some hospitals that were working, that they are not conducive environment for us to work. We have severe shortage of manpower, where you have a doctor doing the job of 5 doctors. We've got some hospitals where you don't even have equipment to do the job you should do. Some of the x-rays are not working. But then we have some demands as well, where we have doctors who are being owed their medical residency training fund. And this is a national act. This money is meant for them to go for the exams. You know, we doctors, we live with exams. We write exams all the time for updates, for progress. And then we've not been paid for last year, and this is another year. And each time we talk to them about these things, and it's the same thing. We're looking into it, we try to fix it, and nothing has been done. Then the hazard allowance as well. Since 2021, we've not been paid the hazard allowance. Got accumulated for a long time. And we talk to them about this, and they tell us it's not in the budget. And it is so sad that every other center has gotten this allowance paid, aside from we in FCTA. We've got doctors who wrote their exams, passed for the past 5 years, should be consultants by now, and they've not been made consultants. Their files are not even nowhere to be found. And so we have all this agitation, we have the skipping arrears, we have the accoutrement allowance. We have a lot of problems we're facing. Some of them we even try to ignore, but right now we are actually at a breaking point. And if we continue to keep quiet, the medical system in Abuja is going to be totally forgotten. All
right, for our viewers to understand, so resident doctors are those doctors in training to become consultants, getting almost to the peak of their career. Residency sometimes take between 3 to 7 years to completion, and over time it looks you can only do your residency in approved medical facilities in the country. It then means that these are probably one of the most senior doctors, because they are almost getting there in the eve of being a full specialist, being called full consultants or specialists in their area of specialization. So they are specialists in training. They are perhaps one of those the consultants rely on. So there are a very huge gap between the doctors in the general practice and the consultants. So that is how important they are. Sometimes they are the ones that you see before you can see the consultant. So when they get on strike, there is a major collapse of the medical services in the country. It means that if you go to some departments in the hospitals, these are the guys that you meet, other than the doctors that you meet right when you get into hospital, that take your vitals and all that. These are your specialists who are in training. Am I right?
That's very correct. Let me just put it this way, that we're the foot soldiers.
Who gets the job done?
The foot soldiers.
Sometimes you spend more hours on the job.
Not sometimes, every time.
And that's why hazard allowances, keeping our allowances, all of these are important.
They're very important because we use those allowances to train ourselves, and then we've been old.
Give us an understanding. How many hospitals are we talking about in Abuja? We're talking about Asokoro?
14.
14 hospitals.
District hospitals, they have primary health care as well, that's correct.
And your members in these hospitals are numbering up to?
Close to 400.
400. About 400 of you
correct.
in about 14 hospitals.
These
are general hospitals,
the
specialist hospital generally.
Yeah, we're talking about Asokoro, Maitama, Zuba, Karo, Abaji, Nyanya.
What is the danger if I go to the hospital, and some of these hospitals, and I don't see a resident doctors? What danger am I likely to enter into?
Well, that means that nobody is there to take care of you. And just imagine being rushed into the hospital and then there's no one to take care of you, to attend to you at the spot. That's a big danger, because what happens is that the first few minutes is very crucial to save the patient. And then you're not there. Sometimes we've got a situation whereby you have just one doctor walking on a call and is in the theater, for example, and then you get a call that you have an emergency downstairs. You can't live there and go down. So we have those issues that are actually bedeviling us. And
has your association officially written to the office of the minister?
Every time.
Have you been able to meet with the minister?
We met him 2 years ago. Okay, when he first became the minister, that was the only time we were able to meet him. But we've met with everyone that works under him. We've sent him a series of letters. And I'm sure he's aware. I want to believe
there should be someone who superintend on medical services in the FCT.
That's correct.
And this is the secretary.
Have the secretary, and to be very sincere with you, she has been doing a very good job. I think the problem we have is the so-called bottlenecks in the system. I don't know what it means, but the bottlenecks make sure that things don't move properly, things are not done properly.
So, in this sense, when you first and foremost gave an ultimatum, you gave a 3-week warning strike last year.
We gave a 3 weeks ultimatum, and then during that time we're having dialogue with the management, and they pleaded for 2 more weeks. So that was 5 weeks. But the lapse yesterday, we had our Congress, and when nothing was done, the Congress said, okay, I think we've taken enough of this. Let's create an awareness. And that's what we're doing right now.
Did you officially write for the 3-day warning strike?
That's correct, we did. And they all have the letters, all of them.
So, we have some pictures of today, and we are monitoring at Channels Television what is happening in the hospital. Because we saw the minister, he began about a 7-day or so commissioning of projects, and we imagine that this is also important. This is some pictures as of this evening coming from some of these hospitals, from Wuse to Asokoro, that we are able to capture. And this is a situation in these hospitals. And imagine that some of these laboratories, some of these wings and departments in these hospitals are non-functional, because usually these hospitals are usually very busy, isn't it?
Extremely busy. And that is just where we have our concerns. The minister has been very busy with projects, fixing of roads and everything. And we feel he should also focus on the hospitals right now. We feel that we are the human abandoned project. No matter how many things it does by fixing of roads and bridges, the hospitals are the very first point of renovation and rehabilitation. The hospitals they are hallowed ground. You cannot neglect them.
Abuja hospitals are in bad shape. Is that what you're saying?
Abuja hospital can be better. That's what I'm saying.
What are the problems that you see? I imagine that you've practiced outside of Abuja. Have you practiced out in Lagos?
Well, I have friends that work in Lagos.
And they talk about how better better in shape and quality hospitals and infrastructure is in Lagos compared to Abuja, isn't it?
That's correct. And I feel that Abuja, being the capital territory, can actually have better hospital care than other states. For example, sometimes we don't have electricity.
In the hospitals in Abuja?
That's correct. Sometimes you can run some tests over the weekend. You don't have enough drugs. You don't have x-rays working. You don't have scan machines working. You don't have enough manpower. These things are there.
And we're talking, Asokoro is very close to the presidential villa, perhaps close to the minister's house, and we have hospitals like that in that shape. I mean, as an association, have you tried to bring the minister or the mandate secretary to the hospitals for spot check for them to see the state of infrastructure in Abuja hospital? Are you able to do that?
Yeah, the mandate secretary has actually visited all the hospitals. She's done so well as a person. I have to give that to her. But she alone can't fix it. We need the minister to step in. He can fix it.
If there is something that the minister needs to do, and urgently too, what would that be? I mean, you have a global picture. You lead an association of about 400 people across over 14 hospitals in Abuja. So you know. Right. You know what your members are saying. You know their plight. You know their working conditions. You know the infrastructure there. But if there is, if you were to declare a state of emergency and move on the ground to fix things, what will be the first thing that you will fix?
Pay us our wages, so you don't kill the passion of those that are even staying back to work. People are leaving the country. Doctors are leaving the country. And then you've got us that want to stay, and then you're owing us that much, and the system doesn't want to pay. So you can't, medicine has to go with passion. You can't take passion out of medicine. But right now, what we're saying is we're getting doctors that are working, and the passion is actually dead because of the kind of treatment they're getting from the system. And that's the problem we're facing at the moment. So I will urge the minister to please try to make sure that the wages are paid. I want the minister to visit all the hospitals and see the states in which the hospitals are at the moment. That's what I think that he can do.
If you give us an understanding of perhaps you've spoken to us about what needs to be urgently done. And one will imagine that a lot of people have spoken. If you go on Abuja roads, you see fantastic, infrastructure work that is being done in the last 1 year or more. That Nyesom Wike became the minister of the FCT. Yes. But it's sad to hear that the hospitals are in the shape that you are describing it. And which of the hospitals would you say is worse off?
Well, let me say that we thank the minister for the job he's doing in fixing the roads in FCT and getting the bridges done, making our transportation even easier from our houses to the hospitals and etc. Which of them is worse off? I will feel like I never categorize them as which one is better or worse off. But what I will say is this, that we've got hospitals where sometimes we have just one doctor working or two doctors working. We'll need doctors, nurses, pharmacists to be employed in those places so that people can have the strength and the passion to work. I feel, in my opinion, that it wouldn't take so much to fix this hospital.
So guys, you have seen it for yourself. These are some of the things we are saying, that when it comes to leadership in this country, these are politicians. They don't care. They don't care about the people. They don't. They only care about themselves. Like you heard that doctor saying that if we want to fix the medical system or the state of medicine or practicing medicine in Nigeria, we should ensure that these are politicians they take their medical services in Nigeria. They don't go out for foreign tourism, when it comes to health care. They should stay back home and make sure they are treated back home, because that is the only way they can encourage every other person to receive his or her treatment back home. Because we have this group of politicians who only think running out of the country is the best way for them to save their lives. But for the poor masses who cannot afford that amount of money, nobody cares. And that is what we've seen them do. Most of the presidents that have come, they go out for, they call it medical tourism. But when it comes to, even the the Aso Villa Hospital were told that they don't have simple things like syringe and the rest of them, because they are not being used by those in Aso Rock. Any little headache, they have to fly out with taxpayers' money. And nobody is talking about building a very qualitative hospital in Nigeria, at least that can serve these big men if they feel no hospital in Nigeria can really fit in providing their needs. It is time for really to call out these politicians. Enough of wasting money. We are told that Nigeria is struggling in terms of revenue, and they are tasking the people. Now, if any of them have headache, they will quickly run out. If any of them have headache, they will quickly run out. I think gone are those days that we should allow these things to be. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.